I wanted to come on and talk to you guys a little bit about something that's bothering me a touch at the moment. And I am that person. I don't know if it's the tism in me, but when something's bothering me, if I come and talk it out to camera and you guys, I can get through it a little bit easier. So this video is going to start with me making a sausage casserole because I've got to feed the family. But it's probably going to end with us sitting down with a notebook and trying to go through everything I'm trying to deal with in my brain. Now, the prime thing that I'm struggling with right now is actually my job. So I am a full-time content creator. Me and my wife have been doing this full-time for probably coming up to 2 years now. I've been on TikTok for 5 years. So that is our primary platform. Don't you hate it when onions peel in multiple bits and then you end up with powdery bits of onion everywhere? It really pisses me off. So TikTok is our main platform. It's our biggest platform. We've got a huge, huge audience over there. It's where we earn the bulk of our money. It's just the biggest place for us to be. And I love it. I need to put that out there. This is by no means me moaning. This is me actually trying to get a control and a grip, trying to get in control of social media, because at the moment I feel like social media is controlling me a little bit and dictating me. So I really want to get ahead of that game and stop this. And that's what this whole conversation is probably going to be about. It's a little bit vloggy, but we'll worm my way through. Anyway, when I first started TikTok back in 2020, the only way to grow was to be consistent. And at that point in time, consistency meant posting multiple times per day. We're not just talking 1-2 times a day. We're talking 6-7 videos per day. Obviously, at that point as well, it was lockdown. Everybody was home. Life was just a bit different. I did say tism just now. I am autistic, which means I set habits and routines and I really struggle to get out of them. So I have been actively posting on that app every single day for 5 years, upwards of 4 videos per day. That is a lot of content, a lot of having a camera ready, trying to figure out what I'm going to make. And it can be quite invasive if I'm honest. I love it. And I don't always realise how much it's tiring me out, but it can be very, very invasive. Now what I'm realising is me and Kelly, our account is at the point where I'm like, do we need to be posting that often? Because actually the algorithm I've noticed is really changing on that app at the moment. We are struggling to even reach 10% of our following, which is wild. It's crazy. Also at the same time, because obviously this is going to be a very transparent and upfront, honest conversation, as a content creator, we have to earn money. I think people just think that when you have followers, you just get paid money. And don't get me wrong, TikTok does pay you for views, but the payment is not that great. It's not amazing. It's probably, I can pay my rent on it, and that's about it every month. We have to earn, and we do a lot of brand campaigns, which is absolutely incredible. That is disgusting. I swear, I must have bought some very, very dodgy peppers because nearly all of the peppers I have just gone off so quickly. Do you reckon if I clean that up, it'll be all right? Anyway, back to where I was talking. So yeah, we now do TikTok Shop, which at first I was dead against. Everybody knew I was against it, actually. I was quite vocal about it. We did actually do it when it very first came out. But TikTok Shop basically is where you make shoppable videos and people can just buy directly from the link of your video. We're incredibly cautious on who we work with. We only work with reputable brands or small businesses. That is a great tool, not only for a creator income-wise, but also for businesses. Because ultimately, the amount of times I've worn something in a video or used a product and then I'm asked what it is or where you can get it, and now I can literally just tag it. It's made my life so much easier. Anyway, we're now at the point where I'm really struggling. I feel like I'm waffling. I'm struggling to find the balance between TikTok Shop content. I'm struggling to find the balance between our organic content. I'm struggling to then post on Instagram, on YouTube, to post my book content. It just feels sometimes like I feel like I need to sit down with myself and question, what am I bringing? to the table? What quality content am I providing by posting upwards of 4 times per day? Also, mentally, after 5 years of doing that, do I need to stop and realign? And I think that's where I'm going to be going in this video. I want to sit down and really think, well, what is it I want to bring to the table with our content? What is it that I really enjoy doing? Why am I here? Kind of thing. And I've never actually sat and asked myself those questions. At the moment, I'm being introduced to quite a few new creators and I'm really enjoying their content. I'm really enjoying what they're bringing me, and it's made me question what I'm bringing other people. At the minute, my lines are blurred on what I'm delivering as a person. I can't speak for Kelly. I can only speak for myself. But I know I'm definitely really struggling with this concept and I'm really finding it hard. So today I want to have a bit of almost like a content reset and take a day off of posting. I don't mind filming and prepping content, but I post on the fly and sometimes that can just be so draining. So I'm going to knock this together. I'm going to shove it in the slow cooker. I'm going to take you with me on this as well. I'm going to sit with my notebook and I am going to start actually formulating some kind of plan and put my thoughts and feelings together on how I'm feeling about my job. Almost give myself a performance review, because I'm fully self-employed. I am the boss. There's nobody telling me, well, you could do this better or you could bring this better. And right now I just feel like social media is owning me and I am not owning it. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. This, I hope, will come across as a very positive, cathartic video, but also give you a little bit of an insight as to how I feel as a content creator sometimes and how I'm trying to manage real life, content life, and being there for you guys. Okay, I am back. I'm ready to sit down. I have got a coffee, I have got my giant water, and then I've also got my notebook and my pen. I just got distracted, as I always do, by random bits around the house. The puppy peed on the big dog's bed, so I've had to strip that and wash that. Then the washing finished. She's now got her snuffle mat. Do you want to see her? Mabel? She is living her best life, aren't you, babes? Yeah, that's it. Now we're going to sit down and I'm going to put pen to paper and I'm going to work through this with you bit by bit. I'm using my favourite current notebook. This is by Intelligent Change. I actually got it on TikTok Shop, but I know this brand is stocked in Waterstones. I love it. Motivational bits throughout, and then also at the bottom of the pages it's got motivational stuff. So give every day the chance to become the most beautiful of your life. I am a notebook whore. I'm awful for notebooks. And I do this thing where each notebook has to have an individual purpose, which really isn't working for me. So this notebook has become like things I've got to do just day to day. And then also I'm going to have the content situation. So I've written down my current issues. So I'm going to think through the things that I am struggling with at the moment. Number one is most definitely the fact that I feel like social media is owning me. Social media is taking over. It's been taking over for a very, very long time. And I think actually Kelly is pretty bored of me having this conversation where I just go around in circles and I'm not breaking the habit. So I'm really hoping that this starts to break the habit. Number two is the algorithm. The algorithm issues on TikTok, especially right now, are so bad. And they seem to be even worse since the US disappeared for 12 hours and then came back. We have a giant following and we don't even get seen by 10% of the people that follow us. People think we've left the app. It's that bad. And I'm out here trying to chug out content every single day. So that is quite exhausting, but the algorithm is out of my control. I cannot control that one. Number three, this is a bit of a touchy one, but it's the financial aspect, because I am scared that if I slow down it's going to impact us financially. And we are at the point right now, we have got something huge on the horizon, a goal that we've been working towards for years and years and years. And we can't risk financial impact. But at the same time, we can't risk burnout and feeling the way that we do. So that balance has got to be struck. Number 4 is knowing where to be. And what I mean by that is knowing where to post. So quite often I don't know whether to post my makeup stuff or my book stuff, or I feel like me and Kelly, because we've got a joint page on TikTok, every video should be us together, and it's not. About 80% of the content that's on there is me on my own. And that's just because I am so social media focused and so social media minded, and Kelly isn't. It's always been that way. But I definitely notice that our performance is better when it is us together. So knowing where to put the content that I suppose I want to make as a person, I find that quite tricky. And that's possibly why I'm making so much YouTube content at the moment, because this is my space. This is where I belong. I think that's all I'm primarily struggling. So I've got social media has taken over, the algorithm, financial, and knowing where to be. They're my main issues. I'm then going to write my current habit. And this is probably where I'm really going to make myself vulnerable, because they're bad. So let's focus primarily on TikTok for this one. My current habits, number 1 is posting too much. And I know I'm posting too much. I know that overwhelming need to post continually, that is a habit that's been ingrained in me for the last 5 years since we started this, and it has got to slow at some point. Number 2 is posting on the fly. So sometimes posting on the fly is absolutely fine, a natural post every so often. I'm not doing that. I'm literally posting as I go, which means things that shouldn't necessarily be content are becoming content. That's interrupting my balance. Number 3 is definitely impulsively posting. So I have this god awful habit of, if someone, for example, leaves a comment and that comment rattles me a little bit, or I feel like I've been misunderstood, I will impulsively respond, and I will make a response immediately. And Kelly's very much like, leave it, we can deal with it another time, or it doesn't even need to be responded to, just save it, we'll deal with it tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I have to deal with it right now. I cannot step away. And I don't know if it's because of fear of being misunderstood or misjudged, fear of being disliked. That is quite strong, because I've never ever found anywhere to fit in. So now I've found somewhere I'm like, oh my God, please don't take this away from me. Vulnerable. Or just fear that if it sits there and I let it fester, other people are then going to get hold of it, and then bad things are going to happen. And that, I think, is my greatest bother. Number 4 is I have no days off. Not a single day off. And I don't mind necessarily days like today where I'm filming this, and this is for you guys over on YouTube, and I can edit this and post it when I want. When it comes to TikTok, there are no days off. I put stuff in the drafts, and I'm so scared of missing a day of posting, or missing an opportunity to post, or messing our routine. So then it changes our algorithm, which is already a mess anyway, that I just don't take any days off. But alongside that, I don't have a working schedule. And I've tried to implement one before, but it fails. I just can't uphold that. I can't bring in working hours. Kelly tried to make me do that and it just didn't work. Only being online from 8 till 4 failed. But I can have days off. I don't have to actively post, create, or be there every single day. And the thing is I do see other people with accounts pretty much the size of ours, and they are not posting every day, let alone 6-7 times a day. And their payoff is far greater. So the answer is in front of me. I'm scared, I think, to make that change. I'm starting to realise how awful I look. I fake tanned and I've also not brushed my hair. So I've literally just chucked it. It's scraggly. And then number 5, there is 5 here. I have a really bad current habit of watching numbers. So I will watch all of our analytics. That's followers, the people that are unfollowing us, our views, our likes, our comments, how much money we're making. I will follow absolutely everything, and that is not a healthy habit. Have I got a dot on my head? I have. Oh dear, I fake tan. That's not going to go well for me. Let's just move on. That's not a healthy habit for me to be in. That's not a healthy mindset to be in, because there's so many parts of this that are out of my control, and I am obsessing and finding myself getting so lost in situations when I just don't need to be. I think the next thing I should go on to is the goals. What is it I actually want to do and want to achieve? Do you know a question I really want to ask myself is, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I on social media? And I know my brain is going to want to answer one way, and it's going to want to say, create a safe space for others. So as a gay woman, as a woman with autism that was diagnosed late, I definitely have a voice in certain groups that struggle, and obviously women are cool. However, create a safe space for others is not indicating why I am doing this. Why am I here? What is it I want? Because I think for me, creating content has always been cathartic. So I don't know if you guys remember the day of Instagram TV. Back in the day when I had less than 1,000 followers, I'd make these videos where I'd just sit and talk to camera, and I would talk about all the things that are bothering me, all the things that are on my mind. Social media has always been this personal diary for me where I can unclog my head. And then I kind of love this show and tell thing. I love showing you how I do my makeup. I love sharing my favourite books. I love sharing the things that I enjoy. For me, I think I need a safe space. So it's not just about other people, but it's also creating my safe space and a place where I can come on and be whoever I need to be, whoever I am, and not feel like I have to be any different. And that's really important. And that maybe is where it's getting a little bit blurred at the moment, because I don't have somewhere where I can just be me. On mine and Kelly's page, I get consumed with making sure that I'm saying this right, making sure I'm saying that right, making sure that I don't upset anyone or offend anybody or don't get misjudged or don't get cancelled. It's just too much. At the same time, I'm doing too much, but I'm also not doing anything that services myself. On my book page, I definitely withdrawn so much from that at the moment, and it's for no reason other than I just want to enjoy my reading, and I am really, really enjoying it. So I'm not putting pressure on myself to constantly appear and create, which I actually feel is working in my favour. Why am I doing this? Creating my own safe space and somewhere where I can just be me. That is, I think that 100% needs to be the answer. Another thing that I probably do need to answer is, what is it I want to achieve? I can sit here and I can list off all of these arbitrary goals. Like, me and Kelly are 49,000k away from 1 million followers. I would love to hit that, but as cool as it is just an arbitrary number. I think the thing that I want to achieve the most is I want to speak to my current community, or our current community. It's a hybrid of the two. It's not necessarily about going viral. It's not about reaching new people. It is to a degree, but I want to speak to our current community. Growth at this point, it's not something I'm too focused on. I want to reach my current people, and I don't know if the content I am providing right now is actually feeding that, or if it's pushing it away. So is my content feeding that or pushing away? I feel like it is slightly pushing it away, if I'm honest, and I don't know. I need to realign my values whilst at the same time not creating stress, extra work or financial impact onto us. So we've got a really good start here. So I've got all of my current issues, I've got my current habits, my why, and what is it that I actually want to achieve. And I'm hoping from this, I can then draw, okay, well, how am I going to fix this? So if I start right at the top with my current issue, social media is taking over. I will show you guys this book, by the way. If my social media is taking over, I need to start owning my social media. It doesn't own me. The hard thing is TikTok Shop and TikTok organic content are two different algorithms, and we have to feed both algorithms. Sometimes they will merge, but they're not the same. So therefore, shoppable content we have to produce pretty much every day, if not 5 days a week, just to be able to financially survive. But then also that shoppable content right now is bringing in some immense opportunities. I am working with brands that I could have only ever dreamed to work with. I can't necessarily let that slip, but at the same time, organic content sometimes is taking a little bit of a backseat because I'm so tired and I'm so burnt out that the content that is being produced is not quality content. That is not what we want to achieve. So I think by owning my social, limit shoppable content to 5 a week. However, I am going to have to sometimes budge on that, because if there are deadlines to hit or there's a campaign that I'm working on, I've got to deal with that. I think there's such a negative view on TikTok Shop. Someone left a comment the other day and was like, all you do is sell crap. I'm literally working with household name brands or small businesses that just need to be heard and to be seen. And that's 100% not selling crap. I understand some of it is not going to be to everybody's taste, but we're so funny about who we work with. I don't know if actually things like that have made me feel like I'm taking a bit of a knock and push me back a bit. But I think limiting shoppable content to 5 times a week with the exclusion of campaigns. Now, the hard thing is if Kelly and I are posting upwards of 4 times a day, so let me find my calculator. So 4 times a day is the average that we're currently posting, 7 days a week. That's 28 videos a week. That is a lot. That is so much content. I don't think I realised actually how much. And that's only on our page. That's not including anything I do on my book page. So you might be able to add another 3 to that. So 31. Then probably some form of video elsewhere. So we're looking at 32 pieces of content per week that we are creating. That's also not including ads that we do. That's horrendous. I kind of feel like I really want to challenge myself and scale that down to 5, between 5 to 7 pieces of content per week and no more. And I feel like that's going to be really, really hard to do. But at the same time, is it going to give us the break that we need? And also, is it then going to push us to create better quality content because we're producing less? I do stand by less is more. And yeah, okay, the growth might be slower, but would we have... Actually, no, the growth wouldn't be slower because our algorithm's so shot to bits. Is that realistic? Challenge to only produce 5 to 7 videos a week. I think for me and Kelly, that doesn't include campaigns and it doesn't include ads. That's just organic content. However, for me, I'm going to challenge myself to only produce 2 to 3 on a personal level. So that could be book content, YouTube, anything like that. That's going to hurt, isn't it? And that would then scale it right down and then would also align with impulsively posting. What I'm going to do now, when I have that need to post, I'm going to write it down. Rather than pick up my camera and be impulsive, I need to learn to control that. And then I'm going to write it down. And my plan is to come back to it 24 hours later or the next day or the next morning and look at it and think, do I need to do that? Do I actually need to respond? Or can I just let it go? Is it going to hurt if I just don't, I'm not responsive to this? Because I think it is those impulsive and posting on the fly that is creating too much because there's no schedule. I almost panic post. Even yesterday, I kept watching our views and our algorithm, which I was like, this is just so shocking at the moment. It's the worst I've ever seen it. But yet I still made 5 videos yesterday, 2 of which were shoppable and 3 were organic. The day before, I made 4 videos. 1 was shoppable. Why? Why am I spending so much of my day making content? Whereas in my drafts, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 postable videos just sitting there, not touched them. 1 of them has been there since September. There's nothing wrong with that. It could easily be posted, but I'm just not doing it, and I'm not being in the moment in real life, and that is a problem. I don't have that balance. Days off, I'm going to start taking days off. I have to do this. I've been saying it for 2 years. Today, I'm going to take the day off of TikTok, I think. I'm just not going to post. Even though I've got drafts sitting there and I'm like, oh, just post a draft. No one will know. No, just back off. Come away from the app. It's fine. It's not going to hurt you. This, not too bad. Sit and do YouTube. It's a new experience for me. I'm learning it. It's a little bit more challenging. That's fine. Tomorrow I have a TikTok shop live, which I have committed to with the brand. So I have to do that. And that's fine. Not a problem. But I'm going to struggle. Take a day off. Even if it's just one day, it doesn't mean that I have to take the day off of filming. If there's an opportunity and it's a great opportunity, right now, everybody's out, I'm home alone, it's quiet. I was like, this is the perfect time for me to film a long sit down video with you guys. I can still create content, I can still be creative, but I don't have to post. I don't have to be like, oh my God, what have I got to post on TikTok today? Or what's going to happen in my life today? It's just so much. So take a day off per week. It's one day. In most people's jobs, they would have at least 2 days off a week. I don't take any time off. I don't even get a lunch break. When it comes, I think, to financial, again, I can't control that. A lot of that's based on the algorithm. So we get paid either per view or on a commission basis on shoppable videos. Aside from ads I'm in control of, so I'll take them out of the equation. Per view, I can't control the algorithm. I can't control who is seeing our content. And that also goes in line with anything that's shoppable or commission based. I cannot control where that goes. I can't control who is seeing what. And by putting more content into the algorithm, it is not necessarily saying to the algorithm, hey, we're quality content producers, show our content to more people. It's basically saying, I feel a little bit desperate, please show my content to people. And that's not who we are. Like, we've never been like that. Financial, I'm just going to have to let go. What will be, will be. I can't believe I'm writing that. What will be, will be. By the way, this was my late granddad's pen. It's a Ferrari pen. My nan gave it to me. He used to do everything in this pen, and it is so beautiful to write with. It's so perfect. I love it. So when I'm having a serious moment, I get my Bell pen out. I called him Bell, and he guides me through it. Cheers, Belle. And then number watching. I've always been a bad one for this, to be fair. I can't even have scales in my house because I will watch numbers. But the irony that on the other apps, so like Instagram, YouTube, I don't look at them. I know my following on YouTube isn't anywhere near as high as the other apps. I know my following on Instagram is a bit stagnant. I just don't watch it. It doesn't matter because ultimately it's just a number. It is just a number and it doesn't define me. So if I know that already elsewhere, I know it with TikTok. I've just got to stop doing it. When it comes to what I want to achieve, which is reaching my current community, I think that where I'm panic posting content, I'm not always making videos that are feeding other people, that are giving other people something, but at the same time giving myself something. It's almost like panic buying. You know, when you go to like a supermarket and you're hungry and you just buy a load of shit because you're hungry. We all know, do not go into a supermarket with an empty stomach. I am almost going into social media and into TikTok with an empty stomach. And so therefore I'm just like all the time trying to fill. And that is not good. That is not healthy at all. It's also making me feel like I just don't have anything to give, when actually, what do I have to give? I'm going to write these down. What do I have to give? Oh God, this is getting really personal, guys. First and foremost, I didn't come out until I was 31. So I'm a late bloomer. That is the kind of conversation that when people watch it and they can relate to it, they always get something from it. I'm a lesbian. Again, that is something that... Oh, there's a squirrel in my garden. Hi, he's cute. That's something that I'm always so happy to talk about. I'm always so happy to open up eyes to people and conversation. I'm a mum of 3, and I also have 3 children with disabilities. So they all have some kind of disability. C's got a physical condition, and I'm an SEN mum, so I've got 2 children that are autistic. To top that off, I myself am autistic. I have recently been diagnosed, and I haven't spoke about my diagnosis very much. And then somebody the other day left a comment. They were like, oh, you've done nothing but milk your autism diagnosis. And that really, really knocked me and felt really quite unfair. I am a massive reader. I'm a huge reader. I'm all about books. Books are my world. We know this. So I can make book content until the cows come home. I love making book content. Does my book content fare very well now? On TikTok, no. Should I care about that? No. Because some people do love it and they are invested in it. And that has just answered such a massive question. It doesn't matter if my content does badly because it's made a difference to somebody, and I forget that so much. I think where I've got so accustomed to seeing these massive numbers, when you go on your own page and you see 950,000 people, you don't equate that to what 950,000 people will look like. It's the same as if I make a book video and it gets 3,000 views. If I had 3,000 people standing in front of me watching me, I would shit myself. If I had 100 people complimenting me, liking me, telling me how much they enjoyed what I've just said, I'd be so overwhelmed. If I had 10 people say it to me, I'd be like, oh my word. I forget so easily. We can't physically see the differences we're making. We can't physically see what we're bringing to the table. That needs to be a real big wake-up call. Alongside books, I love anything makeup, anything hair, anything cosmetics. Cosmetics just make me happy. I love sitting there doing my makeup and just chatting to you guys. I love sharing the products that I like. I don't ever talk about things like the perfumes that I wear, the products that have been standby products for a long time. I think they're the main things that I can bring to the table where I'm happy to talk about them. Alongside that, I have got the gym. I've trained since I was 17 and I am a fully qualified personal trainer, but I don't really like making content about that. I like keeping that for me, but sometimes I will. So it's quite rare that I'll do it. I'm going to be completely honest. It's because whenever I make gym content, people then expect me to give things to them absolutely for free. So then they want me to write them programs, and then they send me messages and they ask me, how do I fix this? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? And I'm like, this was my full-time job for years. Please don't undervalue the fact that I am still qualified and I'm not just going to sit here handing out plans and prescriptive personal advice for nothing. Sorry. It's just a bit icky for me. I don't really like it. See, even just sitting here writing this just makes me feel so much better. The other day, I filmed a video, my first ever actually TikTok video I filmed on my camera, and the quality was unmatched. It was just such a different video, and I just thought, why don't I do this for all of my content? Why don't I actually, at this point, start taking content seriously rather than gotta produce, gotta panic, gotta fit in, all of this shit. I feel so much clearer in my own head having done this and just talked to you guys about it and talked through it. So should we go through what I've written, where we're at and stuff like that? I'm gonna have to hide this side. I've got some work stuff on there that I can't show you. So here we've got the current issues. So social media is taking over, algorithm, financial, knowing where to be, current habits, posting too much, posting on the fly, impulsively posting, no days off, number watching. Why am I doing this? Create a safe space for others, but mainly create my safe space in somewhere where I can be just me. What is it I want to achieve? Reach my current community. Is my content feeding that, or is it pushing it away? I've answered that question. It's not feeding it. I'm not producing enough quality to feed it right now. Here's the answers that I've kind of worked my way around. Own my own socials, limit shoppable content to 5 per week, excluding deadlines and campaigns because I can't help those ones. Challenge to only produce 5 to 7 videos a week for me and Kelly. That is going to be such a huge challenge. Challenge 2 to 3 videos per week for me personally, and that can be in any format, whether that's book talk or YouTube, but not on mine and Kelly's TikTok. I need to back off of that. When I have the need to post, write it down. I'm going to write it down and then I'm going to leave it and I'm going to come back to it. And if it's still relevant when I come back to it, I'm then going to create a plan and I can actually decipher how I'm going to then tackle that. Take one day off per week. What will be, will be. It doesn't matter if content does badly, it made a difference to somebody. And then here I've just got a list of all of the things that I have to give. And then going forward, I don't necessarily do particularly well with like full-on content plans. I have tried that. Somebody once told me to use AI for it and I was like, no, I just can't do that. But what I can do is when I have a video idea, rather than thinking I have to stop absolutely everything and I can't be in the moment, I can just write it down. Write down my video idea and then I can come back to it and I can just create it another time. I always have a notebook on me. It's not like I don't carry notebooks and pens everywhere. I do. So there is absolutely no reason why I can't stick to that one. I had a thought the other day. So when me and Kels first met, I'm going to round off my video here because this kind of sums up, I think, why I came to this point. When we first met back in 2020, we were in lockdown. And at that point, obviously, everything was shut down. I just started this social media journey. I never thought it was going to become anything. I had no intention of it becoming a job or a thing. I thought I'd just delete TikTok within about a week. Never saw it going anywhere. And it just happened. But we were in lockdown. It was the most beautiful spring, summer. And I was constantly outside. I was constantly going for walks. I was constantly out and about. I was super active. I was probably in the best shape I've ever been in my life. But the main thing was I will never forget the feeling I had in my head. I was so happy. I felt so free. I felt like I had a true sense of my own reality. I had a true sense of who I am. And I felt like it was my first time experiencing freedom. And I remember me and Kels had just been on a date and then I left her and I went to Devil's Dyke, which is near me. It's like the most scenic, beautiful place. It was like a warm summer's evening and I laid on the grass and I just took this photo of me like smiling. I miss that feeling. I miss feeling human. I miss feeling like so in the moment that nothing else matters. It's actually making me a little bit emotional. I think that was that wake-up call of like, sometimes I'm so out of the loop and I'm so out of the moment. And we've lost a lot of stress over the last year. A lot of stress has exited our life. It's left us and that's so nice. Now I want to live again. I want to feel like me because the whole reason I posted on social media in the first place was to find me. Along the way, I think things have kind of sometimes got a little bit lost and I've allowed myself to create really bad habits, really bad routines and let social media take over my life. A lot of it is financially driven, of course, because it's become my job. And when you're self-employed, it's all on us. If we don't post, we don't earn. And that's not a nice situation to be in. But I want to be that girl that lays her head on the grass again and just laughs. I know that sounds really sad, but it's true. It's such a nice feeling. I'm going to try and find that photo. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Man, I took like 600 photos in June 2020. That is wild. Yeah. I was just so happy and so free. It's not even the nicest of photo, but I was just so content in that moment and I will never forget how I felt there. It's time to step back into real life a little bit. Touch some fucking grass. On that note, I am out. This has been such a long video. This video was for me and my brain and not necessarily for views or, you know, feeding other people. But hopefully it gives you a little bit of an insight actually behind the scenes of a creator's mind, what goes on in my brain and how I work. I know people think, oh, like she's so confident or she's so out there, and actually I'm like, I'm a quivering mess inside. I think I've got well over an hour's footage here. I will try and whittle it down. If you sat and watched it all, thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. As I always say, at the moment I don't have a clear schedule of when I'm posting. I am just posting on the fly, which I know probably isn't very handy for you guys, but I am going to work on it. I seem to be posting every 3 to 4 days. I'm cool with that right now, but it probably will get less over time, especially as I try to maintain all of this. Thank you so much for being in my little safe space and my little safe circle today. feel free to have a chat with me in the comments and let me know how you took some of this and how you took some of these things and how you control things when they feel like they're just creeping in on top of you. Love you. Bye.